show. I am Dr. Shahar Stallworth, and I am sitting here with one of my very special guests who's running for Circuit Court Judge, Miss Shon Ellerby. How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm glad for you to be on the show. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I'm Shon Ellerby. I currently live in Ocean Springs. I've lived here for about 9 years. So I'm a military kid, so my path's a little zigzaggy. I was born in Hattiesburg. My parents are from Jeff Davis County. My dad was in the military. So we moved around quite a bit, but he did most of his career in Virginia.
Wow.
So I grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia. So that's where I did all of my schooling and law school, undergrad, all that stuff.
Nice. So you come back to Mississippi.
I did. I fell in love with a man.
Well, that's excellent. Okay, and he is
Clifford Ellerby of Moss Point.
okay.
So, he proposed. He was away. He got a job and came back to work for Chevron several years ago, and so he proposed, and that's when I took place.
Wow. So how did you get into this, wanting to run for circuit court judge? Tell us a little bit about that and your journey.
Okay, so my decision to run for circuit court judge really is about him. So I went to law school. I graduated from college in 2000 from the University of Virginia with a bachelor's in Spanish and psychology. I knew I wanted to go to law school, but I took some time off to work, and I ended up enrolling in law school part-time. So I took a non-traditional route. Worked during the day, went to law school at night. So I got to see kind of the day-to-day practice of law practice while I was actually in school.
Right.
So I started working with that firm initially doing defense work, and then I switched to prosecuting, really to get skills. And when I got there, I saw that was where I could really have impact on the system. That's where many decisions are made that affect people's lives.
That's right.
So I stayed prosecuting I practiced for 15 years, so probably all but 1 year of that I spent as prosecutor.
Wow.
So then I practiced in Virginia for about 5 years, and also while there, I had a chance to do some non-traditional things.
Okay.
So I worked with drug court, mental health court, helped create a reentry court program, and helped establish a veterans court program there.
Lovely. I love my veterans, and mental awareness is so big now, and so you have experience in doing that. What qualifies you for this position, over the county? Talk a little bit about your qualifications. I know you have mentioned some of them already, law school and things like that, but what would set you apart from the others?
Sure. So I am the only candidate in this race that's been a full-time prosecutor, and I remember the first elected official who hired me said, "I'm hiring you to make judgments. So you will go to court, you will be prepared for facts, you'll know the law, but you are going to have to make judgments on the spot." And so that stayed with me the entire time. Early in my career, my first job as a prosecutor was domestic violence prosecutor. And so I had to think quickly a lot.
Yes.
And judge credibility of witnesses and make decisions that were based on the law, but based in common sense, and also balancing public safety. Right?
Yes.
So it was kind of that stayed with me. But I've done the traditional things with prosecutors, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have reviewed charges. I've made sentencing recommendations. I've made bond recommendations. I've recommended very long sentences for people, but I've also recommended treatment.
Okay.
And so I think what makes me different is one, I've been a prosecutor, but two, I have tried to balance the law, public safety, and common sense at the same time.
And you need that. That's amazing.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am.
Wow.
To make sure that we are actually doing something that solves problems. And that was one of the things that I learned working with drug court, mental health court, and reentry court. There were two things. When stakeholders in a system come together and work together, problems are solved.
That's right.
I also saw that I could use my education and my training to solve problems and have real impact. Which leads me to why I ran for circuit court, or why I'm running for circuit court, is to make impact on our system.
And that's what we need, because
ma'am.
our system is broken, and a lot of people may not think that way, but our system has been broken for a long time, not just here in our area, but, worldwide. And so when you say make impact, and I can already feel a vibe from you that you are about action, what you speak, what you say, you're going to fulfill it. I can tell that by talking to you, graduating from Virginia, coming back to Mississippi to want to make an impact and bring change is always good.
Yes, ma'am.
So, that's going to set you apart from everybody and set the bar higher, on the Gulf Coast. So tell us a little bit about what a circuit court judge does.
Sure. So circuit court judges preside over criminal cases and civil cases. Those are the big two main areas.
Okay.
On the criminal side, they preside over felonies. So a felony is a crime that carries a year or more in the state penitentiary. So if you can be sentenced to a year or more, that's a felony crime. It's going to be concluded in the circuit court. On the other side, they preside over civil cases. So those are going to be like your medical malpractice lawsuits, your types of cases that have big damages involved.
Wow. You are the real deal. This is not no kind of position to play with.
No, it's not.
All right. You got to know the law. You got to know what you're doing. So you already talked about your qualification, what sets you apart. What would you like to tell our audience why they should vote for you?
Okay. A vote for Shon Ellerby is a vote for a fresh perspective. I know for some people you're going to have to trust because it's going to be something you've never done before and something you've never seen.
Right.
But it is a vote for fresh perspective. It is a vote for innovation. I would like to actively work with our stakeholders to ensure that justice is moving more quickly in our district.
Yeah.
Also, and that's across all three counties. So it's Jackson, George, and Greene counties. I also would like to bring a mental health court program to our district.
I love it.
Because I think those courts that I talked about are some of the best tools that we have to address our challenges. And so what I saw was when you solve these problems, solve these issues that fuel the criminality, you change lives, you rebuild our communities, and you make us all safer.
That's right. And, I was talking to one of the judges before. He does something called Beyond the Bench. A lot of time we have people that are career politicians or they sit behind the desk or they'll, make these judgments and, spew out the law, but they don't go beyond to help somebody. So like you said, you want to make impact. So you are a community person.
Yes, absolutely.
And you want to make impact and reach out to the young people. And that's what I like about, your campaign that you're running. What else would you like to say about that?
So the third thing that I'd like to do is ensure that what I'm doing in the courtroom is fostering an environment that everyone can trust and respect. So that people understand that fairness and justice and equality are happening down in the circuit court regardless of all. And you mentioned something about beyond the bench. I see myself as probably the
right.
I learned as a prosecutor that sometimes the things that we do outside of the office, so some of our community engagement enhances what we do in the office.
Right.
So I'd like to include that as a challenge.
I love it. Okay, tell our audience how to get in contact with you, in touch with you, where to find. If you got a website, let us know.
Sure. You can find me at www.shonellerby.com. I'm also on Facebook, Shon Ellerby. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. You can email me at vote@shonellerby.com or you can call me at 228-220-4199. And if I could add one more thing, we have an important voter registration deadline.
Right.
So you must be registered 30 days before election.
That's right.
Which is October 8th, but it's going to be the 10th. Okay. So if everyone register to vote, turn in your form. That's it.
And that's
we also have absentee voting happening too. So
okay.
Qualify and you're eligible, you can go ahead and go to the college student.
Yes.
You're going to be county election day.
Okay.
Those are just two of the big.
All right. Well, Miss Ellerby, I met your father-in-law because I'm in the NAACP and he was there and I was like, I need to meet your daughter-in-law. So he was telling me about you. And one thing that stuck out, he said, before we close, I just want to bring it up. He said, she's very diverse. And I can pick that up about you, So I know you're going to bring diversity to the courtroom. And that's what we need. We need to see some balance. So I thank you for being here today. And you're just a blessing to the show. So I wish you all the luck. And I look forward to seeing you in the courtroom as our new circuit court judge.
A vote for Shon Ellerby is a vote for innovation and enhanced efficiency. As a prosecutor, I fought for years in the courtroom, day in and day out, to get justice for victims of crime and to hold offenders accountable. As a judge, I would ensure that the laws of our state are fairly enforced. I would love to bring a mental health court program to our district so that we can close some of those gaps and some of the challenges that I've seen in handling offenders who come before the court with mental health problems. I would like to use all the skills and the training that I have to make sure that we are providing the best service to the citizens of Jackson, George, and Greene counties in terms of the administration of justice, so that we can make sure that we are adequately serving the citizens and that we are ensuring that justice is administered efficiently and fairly.
From my block to your block, we are here to stay. Jesus all day, every day we pray for change to come. He's the only way to escape the pains of yesterday. From my block to your block, we are here to stay. Jesus all day, every day we pray for change to come. He's the only way to escape the pains of yesterday. As I look out of my window, see babies on the corner selling their dope, trying to make another donor out of a man being deprived of a need. Could only be self-expressed when he followed his needs. Give thanks to the Father who all blessed flow. Stop murdering your brother who buys your dope. Let's give him a helping hand and fix his need from society. Butcher his mind as they please. Word up to all the knowledge learned on the street, but it doesn't give peace to the prostitute and need pimp. We keep it pimping when we chase paper trail like it's good until everything else fail. Message, the real message is to follow Yeshua. Give him your life and